Hi, everyone. Good evening. So again, we are going to be covering tables today, working with tables in your Microsoft Word program. And we're also going to look at a little bit of how to check spelling and grammar in your document in Microsoft Word. So should be a fun class. Tables is something that I use a lot when I'm using Microsoft Word. I find it easier to organize a lot of information, especially if it's related information, right? Like days of the week and chores, a chore chart, something like that. So we're going to look at that today. But to start off, we'll have a little bit of participation. You guys should see my screen and a couple of questions for you about what we have going on here. So first of all, what do you notice in the table below? Like, what does this table look like it's for? When you look at this table, what do you think this looks like it is? Anybody?
The schedule.
Mm-hmm. It's a schedule. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. So it's a schedule, Monday through Friday. You got five employees or volunteers, whatever it might be, that are working for an organization, and it has their work schedule, right? So for instance, Abdi works 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. And if you wanted to, and this is what I like about tables. So if you want to just go day by day, you would very easily be able to see that on Monday, Abdi works 8 to 5. Philippe works 11 to 8. And then, I'm sorry, 2 to 11. And Maria, 11 to 8. And then same thing on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You can just see like what the coverage is. So it's an easy way to organize information. Uh, so the rows are like Abdi's row, for instance, is a row. So those are rows. So rows go left to right. And then the organization of information vertically. So, for instance, the column called Monday, that would be our column. So, tables are organized into rows, which go left to right, and columns, which go up and down. And again, it's normally related information like you see here. And so that's a really good example of using the table. And we'll go through a couple of examples today on how you can use them, how you can insert them, and kind of play with them to make them look nice. There's a lot of information on how to make nice tables because it's actually a pretty common function to put tables into your Microsoft Word documents. Does anybody have any questions about why we use tables, first of all, before we get into explaining how to actually add them to your document?
I like tables. They're easy.
Me too. I really like tables. It makes everything a little bit easier to see. And because writing a schedule out, like how would that look versus just putting it in this table, right? It's just easy to put it in a table. Anybody who's ever worked in corporate America or even McDonald's, right? You've seen a table with the schedule, right? And it's got all the employees and it's got day by day who's coming in, who's covering, who's opening, who's closing, all that fun stuff. So again, I'll go ahead and go over here to just going to go over here. And I'm going to go ahead and open up Microsoft Word. So again, as a reminder to open up Word, as we know from some of our previous lessons, you can either number one, find it down here at the bottom of your screen, or we can also find it over here in the search menu. We can always just type in Word. So I'm just going to type in Word here, and it brings up Word. It will then open up a brand new window. Bring it over. It'll look like this. And then you can hit new. And normally we're just going to start today, especially for just a blank document. Okay. So that's how we want to start. And let's see here. All right, so let's go ahead and actually insert a table really quick. So it's pretty easy. As you all can see, we always start on the home menu right here. But if you want to insert a table, you just come over to this insert menu right here. And you can see here, there's an option to add a table right here. So when you click that button, it brings down this kind of this table here, and I can create the size of my table by just moving my mouse around. So for instance, right now, if I clicked my left mouse button, I would get a 7x4 table. So that means 7 columns. So see, if I start up here in the corner, I just get a 1x1. If I move one to the right, now I have 2 columns, but 1 row, right? Notice I'm still on row 1. So I could do a 10x1. That would be 10 columns, all in 1 row. I could do a 1x10, which would be 1 column, and it would be 10 rows, right? Or we can do a combination. So we could do a 3x2, be 3 columns and 2 rows. So for this one, I'm just going to do let's do a 5x5. And once you get that, again, this is live moving, but once I get to the one and the dimensions that I want, then I can just click yes. Don't worry if you end up having to add to that. You can always add a column. You can always delete a column. Okay, so you can add columns to this. You can delete columns, and there's a couple different things we'll look at as far as how to do that. Okay, so here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns, and then as you see across, we have 1 row, row 2, row 3, row 4, and finally row 5. So this table is a 5x5. So if we wanted to, for instance, add a column, let's say I wanted to add a column to the right, because I forgot and said, oh, actually, I want to do 7 days of the week, right? Let's say we were making the table we just looked at. There was going to be a schedule, and we wanted 7 days of the week, let's say Monday through Sunday. So I would just come over here to this last column, and then using your right click button on your mouse, so your right click again is your middle finger, not your pointer finger, but using that middle finger, you can just right click in there, and it brings up this menu. You guys probably remember this from some of our previous classes, right? And you get a menu here where you can insert, and here's your options. You can insert a column to the left, you can insert a column to the right, you can insert rows above or below. So I'm going to do insert column to the right. It adds a column. And then I'm going to do that one more time. And let's go ahead and actually make that table that we were looking at. So I believe it was, let's do Monday. And I'm just typing the days of the week here. Let me make everything a little bit bigger so you guys can see. I'm just increasing the font here a little bit so everyone can see. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So notice that I'm still missing one because this is going to be the names over here, right? Let's just put some names. I'll put Eric. Let's just use the names of the folks that are here. Ellie. Uh, let's use Linda and Rebecca. So let's just say that these were the names that we were going to put. So we have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, but I still need one more column, right? Because we need Sunday. So again, I'm going to right click here in this last column, and I'm going to tell it to insert a column to the right of Saturday, right? Now, if we did column to the left, it's going to put one here to the left of Saturday, but we don't want it there. We want it to the right of Saturday. So I'm just going to right click and delete that column. And then again here, let's right click again, insert, and we're going to do insert column to the right. So there's our final column. I'm going to go ahead and type Sunday. And then from there, it's pretty easy. You just got to go ahead and just put in, the numbers, right? Let's say 8 to 2, and I'm not going to fill this all the way out, 11 to 4, and let's do 2 to 11. And then you would just fill out the information all the way across. And of course, you would then have the schedule for Rebecca, Linda, Ellie, and Eric. Okay. So that's the way that works. Is there any questions so far? I'll stop and pause for a second here. Any questions on how to create a basic table?
Not so far, thank you.
Of course. Okay. So based on what I just showed you guys, let's say that I wanted to add one more row under Rebecca for, let's say I wanted to add a schedule for Io, who just joined our call. Anyone have a guess on how we might insert a row below Rebecca? It's a very similar process. It's actually the exact same way that we add a column, but we're inserting a row.
Yeah. Do you want to do me inserting a row, right?
Yes. How do I insert a row below Rebecca?
Yeah. One of the row. Okay. The one below. You're gonna click on it, then right click.
Okay.
Then when you right click, you're gonna look for insert.
All right.
Then you're gonna look for insert below.
Insert rows below.
Correct.
Perfect. And there you go. You got a row below. Okay. I'm going to delete that really quick. And then another thing that's really nice is sometimes if you want to add multiple rows, let's say you wanted to add 3 people to the schedule. Instead of just right clicking this bottom row and doing insert, if you do insert row here, it's just going to add 1 row. But sometimes you want to add multiple rows potentially. Maybe you just hired a new batch of employees and you're like, you know what, we need to hire 3 new people and we're going to get them all put on the schedule this week. So to do that, instead of right clicking and having to insert each time, you could select these bottom 3 rows. And because you selected these 3 rows, is when you do insert, it knows that you want to add 3 rows. So based on the number that you're selecting here, it's going to add that number. So notice here, I'm selecting 3.
Yep.
I'm going to right click and do the same process, insert. And notice that it does say rows. It is plural, insert rows below. So I'm going to click that and look, it added 3 blank rows below. Okay. That's a pretty cool feature that I like because it makes it easy to kind of increase the amount of information in it pretty quickly. You don't have to right click and keep adding 1 row at a time. Okay. All right. So a couple things you could do from here, and this goes back to our previous class. If you wanted to just highlight, we could add some color here. I'm going to go to the table menu, by the way. So notice that when you're off the table, there's not a table menu up here. As soon as you click in the table, you get this table design menu here. And it has just some different things. It has different formats for your table. So you can use potentially some of these different color schemes here in the middle. So you can see that as I kind of scroll down, like if I click that one, it'll format it that way. Because some organizations use kind of the same standard each time. So you can see here, I could go with that. And notice it kind of auto formats everything for you nice and quick so that you don't have to come up with the color scheme. So these are all available. There's plenty of them in here to try. That one's decent. I'm going to actually just go back to basic though, because I want to demonstrate to you guys. Here's a couple different basic ones, but we'll keep it as a simple one. So again, let's say I wanted to add some color here in this top row, the header row. I could just select that and then go here to shading, again, under the table design. And I can just pick a background color, right? So I can pick a background color. Let's just do green today. Same thing that we've done in some of our previous classes. You can, of course, come here to the home menu. You can use your bold. You can increase the font size. You can decrease the font size here. I'm going to go with 16. You can do, you can make it red, different color font here. So a combination of the home menu where you can change some of your text and also using the table design menu is where you can really start to play around with your tables and make them look good and kind of customize them. Additionally, if you wanted to put in some borders, you would need to first select everything. So select the entire table. And then you can come here to borders and you can do, for instance, like maybe all borders. So notice that took it off because we already had that on. And then let's come here and do, there we go, all borders. We can change the thickness of the line. right here. Okay. All right. And make it dots and so forth. Okay. So there's a lot of stuff that you can do when you're in there working around. Okay. Let's see. All right. One other thing I want to show you really quick. Let's say that you misspelled a day. So anybody here that's ever done any typing knows that it's pretty easy to make a typo. So sometimes when you're working in Word, if you do a typo, so let's say you meant to do Tuesday here and you meant to do Wednesday there, it's going to give you that little red squiggly line, right? And that red squiggly line is telling you that you probably have misspelled a word. And so it makes it really easy to see that. And then to correct it, there's two ways to do that. You can either go to the review menu here, and you can click on spelling and grammar. So we did review, spelling and grammar. And see here it says, hey, you spelled 2DF, and it doesn't really know what you wanted to do there. And so it actually didn't come up with a good recommendation. So for that one, you would have to go back on your own. So we'll hit ignore once for now. You'll have to correct that one. And then this one, this is our spelling, and it's like, oh, did you want to actually spell Wednesday? So if that's correct, you can just click that and it'll fix it. Okay. So I'm going to go back and actually fix Tuesday because it actually did not have a good suggestion. Tuesday. Okay. Now we don't have any squiggly lines, so we know that we're good to go. Again, let's say that I forgot to put the S in Thursday. The other way to do it is without having to go to review in spelling and grammar. You can just simply right click on the word and it'll normally have a pretty good suggestion right here. If that's the word that you meant to spell, all you have to do is click it. So click it and it corrects it right there. So again, two ways to do spelling and grammar. You can go to the review menu, spelling and grammar, or just simply right click on the squiggly line and it'll normally give you a suggestion on how you can fix that spelling error. Any questions about that? That's pretty simple stuff, right?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Let's go do a little exercise here just to kind of recap some of the stuff we've talked about so far. So on this one, it says Sam has a lot of chores to do around the house. He needs to wash dishes, clean the bathroom, sweep the floor, vacuum the living room. Give Sam advice on how he can create a table to make a weekly to-do list. How can he insert a table into his document? So I'm going to move that out the way. Can anyone tell me how do we insert a table into our blank document from here? Anyone but Ayo. How do we insert a table into our blank document?
Go to insert.
Go to insert. And we want to do, by the way, so let's say, so he has the same wants to have one home for each day of the week. So he wants to do a chore chart for the 7 days of the week.
Yeah.
So how many columns should we have? And
Yeah.
then let's say there's two people in his house, so it's himself and another. So what dimensions table do we want? So again, it's two people in the house, and then there's going to be 7 days in the week.
7 by 2. Oh, 7 by 3. Sorry.
7 by
8.
3. Let's give it a shot. So we'll start with the 7 by 3, and then let's go ahead and do our days of the week. Okay. Oh, but we don't have a column for our names, right? So maybe because we want a column over here where I can put the names, because in these blocks, we're going to put the actual chore, right? So how would I insert one more column to the left of Monday? How would I insert one column to the left of Monday? Because we need another column so we can write the names over here in this area, and then we'll write it in the chores. How do we insert a column to the left of Monday?
You're gonna click on highlight the space,
Which space?
the column space.
Which column?
Monday.
In between Monday and
Okay, yeah, so highlight Monday. Okay.
Yeah. So you're gonna right click.
Uh-huh.
Is there insert in there in the box?
Insert.
Yeah.
And do we want column to the left or right?
left.
To the
Left.
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 Exactly. So then it gives you, see how it moved everything over one? Okay. And now we can come and we can say the names are, let's say Sam and I don't know,
John.
Mark.
Yeah.
Okay. And then from there, we would just then go ahead and put in the options on what chore they're going to be doing. Okay. Real quick, I have a misspelling here on Friday. Who can help me? How do I fix this spelling error and correct that?
Right click on
I think somebody was about to say something.
right click on the weight.
Right click on it. And then say, oh, okay, yeah, I did mean to spell Friday, right? And then just click it and it corrects it.
And you can
Perfect.
also go to review.
All right, let's see what else we got. All right, so that's pretty much that one there. How would I put some shading here in this top row? How would I add some shading, some background color to this to kind of make this label row show up a little bit better?
Right click.
You're gonna have it a light.
So yeah, let's highlight.
Then you go to color.
Go to shading.
Shading, yeah, shading, yeah. Then we can pick a color, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
Then make it bold.
Yeah, let's do that too. Let's make it bold.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Yes.
I like it. So let's say that you actually wanted to use a bigger, bolder text because you wanted it to really stand out. So right now, and this goes back to a previous class that we've done. So right now we see that we're in portrait mode, right? And so we see that we've taken up most of our writing space here. So let's say I wanted to add 4 columns. So I highlight, I go to insert, I insert columns to the right. It's starting to get, these columns are starting to get a little bit slim, right? So let's say we just started over the week. So these columns are starting to get a little bit tight now. One of the ways that you can add more space if you have a lot of columns, one of the things you can do, going back to a previous lesson, is you can come to layout and you can actually go to orientation and switch it from portrait to landscape. So notice now we have some additional space over here on the right. Right, so I'll just zoom out so you can see my entire screen. So notice now on our page, it only goes over here. So we have a couple inches of space we can work with over here. And so to fix that and to use up that space a little bit better, one of the things you can do is you can actually come up here to the top and adjust the column width. So this space here, you see where my mouse changes when I come up here. So you can either click and move it out from there, or the other option is you can actually just put your mouse right on that line. And when that mouse changes to that kind of right there, those two arrows pointing away from each other, I can click and hold, and I can actually make the width of each column a little bit different also. Probably a little bit easier to just grab it from up here, kind of space it out a little bit.
Oh, it's speak it easy.
Yeah. Yeah. And just grab it a little bit and kind of move it around, use up your space a little bit better that way. Okay. So that's an option right there. Let's see. Okay. Any questions about that? Anyone?
Not for me, thank you.
None? Okay. Too easy. So lastly, in today's exercise, today's class a little bit pretty simple, but we got one more exercise, so I will share that. I'm gonna hit don't save. So here's the last exercise it wants us to do today. So it wants us to open a new Microsoft Word document, type the following title at the top of the page. So we're going to do grocery store first shift schedule, insert a table with 5 columns and 4 rows, write the days of the work week at the top of the columns, write the names of the employees. So again, Sam works on Monday, etc. Tom works on Tuesday, Thursday, etc., etc. So we're going to go ahead and create this together. I'm going to have you guys help me and kind of talk me through how to do it. So we'll try to get everybody an opportunity to participate here. So step 1, and again, if you get one of the answers right, let's try to give everyone else then an opportunity to participate. So who can help me? How do I open up Microsoft Word? First step.
It depends. You could find it on desktop,
Mm-hmm.
or you want to go search for it.
Yeah, I'm going to just use mine right here. So I'm just going to click right here and open up Microsoft Word.
Yeah.
Okay. How do I make a new blank document?
Yeah.
Click new.
New and blank, right? Mm-hmm. All right. So that's first step. Step 2, it says type the following title at the top of the page. So grocery store first shift schedule, 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. So I'm going to go ahead and type that, and then I'm going to have you guys help me to make it bold. First shift. Oh, man, my memory. Got to write this thing. Grocery. 1 second. Grocery store. First shift schedule, 7 a.m., 3 p.m. Okay. I'll bring it back over so you guys can see. All right. So what's the first thing you notice on my title? That I misspelled grocery, right? How do I
Yes.
fix that? Somebody help me fix that really quick.
You
Right click the word.
go click and right click on it.
Okay. Yep. So click. I'm gonna right click on it, and then it's gonna say, "Hey, are you trying to spell grocer, Gracie, or grocery?" I want to spell grocery, so I'm just gonna click it, right? So that's the first thing. So somebody who hasn't helped yet, help me to make this title of this document stand out. How do I make it bold? How do I underline it? And how do I increase the font to something that's going to stand out at the top of the page?
I think
Hold on, Io. You've done a lot of talking. Hold on. I want to see if somebody else can help me out.
Light click.
Right click, you said? How do I make all this bold here? Bold and increase the font size.
Light click the whole word and then go to bold.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand. What should I do?
Light click the sentence and then go to bold.
So highlight it first, right?
Yes, then go to bold.
Okay, and then bold here. How do I increase the font to, let's say, size 20?
Go on the layout, under the layout.
Right here.
Yes, then click there and then choose the number that you want.
We'll do 20. And then finally, how do I make it underlined?
Go on the U.
Yeah, here we go. Okay, so there we go. So one of the things that's important here, and this happened in class the other day for a lot of folks, it's important to once you've changed that, and then when you want to go back to using normal text, you actually need to go ahead and tell it now while you're over here, because that's telling the computer, I'm done using this big text. So now that we're done, let's put everything back to normal. Size 12, no underline, no bold. I'm going to go ahead and hit enter. And then what's the next step? All right, then it says it wants me to insert a table with 5 columns and 4 rows. So again, somebody who hasn't helped yet, who can help me make a table that's 5 columns and 4 rows. Step 3 right here. 5 columns and 4 rows.
Go to
What do you
layout
think?
Okay, layout. Is it layout?
or insert. Is it
Insert. Yep, insert. Yep,
the
you got
table?
it. Table and then a 5 by 4. So what does that mean? Does that mean 5 columns? Is that right? 5 columns and 4 rows?
That's what I would assume.
I think that's what it said. Insert a table with 5 columns and 4 rows. Yep. And so I'll go insert 5 by 4. Does that look right, Becca?
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. So I'll click it and then we got our table. Okay. So we're in business. All right. Let's go and see what the next step is. Then it says write the days of the work week, Monday through Friday, at the top of the columns. All right. So right here, we're going to write Monday. See what it did though? See, it used the formatting from up here. So I'm actually going to go ahead and select everything. And I want to fix that formatting because we don't want it to be all big and whatnot. We want it to be looking kind of more normal. I'll just do 14. We'll take off underline and bold. Okay. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Notice that as I was writing, I don't know if you guys saw that, but as I'm writing, so when I write Tuesday, I'm not using my mouse to get to the next block over. I'm just using the tab button. So on my computer, and I'll go ahead and bring up the on screen keyboard again. On my computer, when I'm here, after I type Tuesday, I can just hit tab and it'll take me to the next one. So then I can hit Wednesday, tab, Thursday, tab, Friday. Okay, so just want to demonstrate that. That's a very helpful function to move around when you're working in tables using that tab function. Can you guys just give me 1 second? I'm getting some text. I think there might be some people who can't get in. Let me just check. We'll see some WhatsApp messages. I just want to make sure everyone had a chance to get in today. Okay, 1 second. It looks like some people were looking for the invite. Just give me 1 second. I'm gonna post in our WhatsApp. Okay, let's see. I apologize. Just 1 more second. Just want to make sure we get everybody in. Okay, I'm back. Apologize about that. All right, so we're good to go there. So let's see what's our next step here. Then it says write the name of the employees under the correct day that they work. So Sam works on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So I'll go ahead and type that in. I'm gonna actually move this away so I can just do this a little bit quicker. So Sam works on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And let's see, Tom works on Tuesday, Thursday. Mhm. So I'm going to use a separate row, Tom, Tuesday and Thursday. And Abdi works Thursday, Friday. I ran out of rows, so I still have 3 employees that I need to write. How can I add 3 rows below the rows that I already have without having to do it 3 times? How do I add 3 rows quickly? Anybody remember how to do that?
Right click from sum to down.
So first, right, so how do I tell the computer that I want to insert 3 rows and not just 1 row?
By right clicking 3 rows.
Yeah, highlight the 3 rows, right? So highlight 3 rows and then do the right click, insert, and do rows below, and it adds 3 new rows automatically. I don't have to do it 3 times, right? So then let's do these last ones. So then Sarah works Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Who else we got here? B works on Monday, Tuesday. Okay, so if you ever get over here too far, let me bring my keyboard back up. If you ever get over there too far, here, for instance, and you need to go back because B works on Tuesday, you can also do Shift Tab and notice that my cursor here went backwards now. Shift Tab again, move me to Wednesday, and then I need to be on Tuesday. So I'm gonna hit Shift Tab one more time. Now I'm on Tuesday, and B does that, right? So again, now we need to go to our final line where Chang works Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So watch my cursor here as I hit Tab. It moved here, moved one more, moved one more. Now when I hit it one more time, it's actually going to go down to the next line. So see my cursor here. It went down to the next line on that tab. So it knows that when you get to the end of the table, the next tab is to go to the next line. So now we got Chang works Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So tab. And let's actually use this keyboard to do it. How do I get a capital letter to capitalize the first letter of Chang? Using this
By the
keyboard
caps.
up here.
Caps.
Well, caps, yeah. So I can hit caps and then hit C, right? To get a capital C and then turn off caps. So that's one way to do it. I'm gonna go ahead and hit tab to go to Thursday. The other way to do it is you can hold Shift and hit that first letter, and then it automatically goes off. So then you don't have to turn it off, and then you can just do Chang that way too. So again, you can always turn on caps, but the thing with caps is it's going to do all letters in capital until you turn it off. With Shift, you only have to do it one time. So let's do it one more time. Tab. So now we're on Friday. And again, I'm going to hit Shift C. It gives me in capital C, but then everything else after that will stay in lowercase. So there's our table. All right. So let's say that, let's go over a couple more things. So here I am, I'm in portrait mode. Who can help me turn this into, landscape mode? Because let's say I wanted to make this really big. I wanted to take up the whole page because this is the schedule for the week. I don't have any need for all of that space down below. Who remembers how to rotate this from portrait mode to landscape mode?
I think you highlight and then go to layout, then on orientation. And then
Yeah, so you don't even have to highlight. For orientation, you can just go to layout. And that was a great call out. Thank you. Who was that? I missed who that was.
Nadetro.
Ah, good job. And then orientation and then landscape. So then it's going to rotate my page, which gives me a little bit more room to work. And then if I wanted to take up all the space, again, how would I increase the space of the columns? Who remembers how to increase the space of the columns? How do I space these columns out a little bit more? Because I got all this white space over here.
Can you number from there? And the arrange.
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed it. Here?
Yeah. There.
Yeah, here. Yeah, so you click and hold, just a normal click and hold, and just move that column right on out. All right, just move it on out, move it on out, move it on out, and move it on out. So now you got more space. So now we can actually make the font here a little bit bigger. Can someone help me? How do I increase the font for the entire table? How do I make all these letters bigger so they take up a little bit more space? They're a little bolder.
Highlight and then change the font size.
Yeah, highlight. And then font is here on the home menu, right? Where we've been referencing for the past couple lessons. And then here we can just change the size right here. So this is the font name. So this is what the font looks like. Notice there's a bunch of, right? So as I move my mouse over them, notice how the text in the table changes, right? So if I went with Algerian, it would change the look of the actual text. Notice this is all in alphabetical order, starting with A. So there's a ton of different fonts that you can use, and different fonts are for different purposes, right? Like this font here looks kind of silly. It might be used for like a kid's storybook or something. And then if you have a font like, let me find one that's a little fancier, like this. No, not that one. Let's do, just looking for one that looks like a signature. Here we go. If you did one that looks like that, you might use that if you were kind of writing your digital signature. Okay, so I'll just go with this one here, and let's make it a little bit bigger, take up a little bit more space. Lastly, who can help me figure out how do I put a little bit of background color here on this top row just to make it stand out a little bit better? How do I put a background color there?
Highlight them.
And then what?
Then go to correct.
And then we've got this paint bucket here, right? So we can use that. That paint bucket, it means it's going to shade all of the area that's highlighted. So if I click it right now, it's just going to be white, so it won't do anything. But I can always click this down arrow, and then I can select the color that I want to be the background. So that's one way to do it. If that doesn't pop up for you, you can also highlight, and then because you're in the table, you have this table design area, and you can use the shading area right here. Okay. All right. Perfect. All right. Let's see. I think that is almost it. Lastly, let's just do this little exercise together. So this exercise, we're just going to look at a couple of icons that are in Microsoft Word, and we're just going to try to pair them with the definition. So we have this icon here, these ones here, and then these are our vocabulary words, things that we talked about today. So I will write them in, and you guys are going to help me and tell me what you think each one is. So this one here, well, let's start with the easy ones, right? What is this one here? This one with all the blocks. What is that? Is that a column?
Table.
Table. Exactly. Okay. What is this one here? Remember, is it a row or a column? This one.
I think it's a low.
What was the answer? A row or
I think
a
it's a
column?
low. Where does column go? Low. I think Hello?
So yeah, so this one, is this a row or a column, everybody? So rows again go left to right, right? And then columns go up and down. So based on this, what does this look like? A row or a column? This photo here.
Column.
Yeah, a column. And then that makes this one what? A row?
Hello?
Oh, sorry. And then lastly, we got two words left. We have either insert or review. Let's do this one. What does this one look like? Insert or is this review?
Review.
Yeah, exactly. And that leaves the last one, which of course is insert. Okay, perfect. Yeah, so these are common little icons that you'll see while you're working in Microsoft Word. Let me come here. Yeah, it's a little bit hard to see, but you can see these little icons that are next to it, right? Like insert column or insert row, stuff like that. So, yep. Let's see. Last thing I'll show, if you just wanted to spice this up a little bit because like it's a little bit boring, you got a lot of white space down here. You could hit enter. Let's say we want to get out of the table. So I'm actually going to delete this last row here. So let's say we came down below the table and we wanted to just add some flair to this. Maybe we wanted to add a photo. And again, we've covered this in a previous class, but I just want to show it one more time. To insert a photo from the internet, there's things called basically photos that people take. They're stock images. So people take them and then they sell them to different software companies on the internet, and those photos can be used in various different ways. So Microsoft has a bunch of those. So here under insert again, right next to the table area, you can insert pictures. I'm going to do stock images. So that means images that have just been, oh, bless you, somebody, not sure who that was, but bless you. So let's insert a stock image, and I'm just going to type in let's see, what are we talking about? We're talking about work schedules. Let's do business. I'm just type in business and see what comes up. Oh, it's got, so you guys see all these stock images, a lot of fun stuff. I'll just select
The one next to the pin.
this one. I'll just select this one here. Now notice that it went off the page. So it's like, hey, where'd my photo go? Well, it's down here on page 2 because it's too big. Okay. So you got to shrink it a little bit. When you shrink it, it'll come back up and take this space because right now the photo is so big it won't fit with the table. So I'm just going to shrink it. I'm just going to grab this corner, and notice when I put my mouse over that corner there, I can get my cursor to turn into that kind of that double arrow. So I can click and hold and just bring that in a little bit. Still a little bit more. And maybe a little bit more. Let's see. There it goes. There it goes. And so now it comes up to page 1. So if you wanted to just spice it up a little bit, you can add like that photo. I'm gonna go a little bit smaller. I could even go like this and move the photo so that it's like in the background, but then it's kind of hard to read, right? So you can always kind of move the photo around to make it a little bit bigger, get it centered, whatever you want to do. Okay, makes the document, just takes up that space. I don't like a lot of extra white space on documents personally. So I like to put a little color and some stuff in there to keep my eyes busy. So any questions on what we did today, guys? So today we covered how to use the review tab up here at the top. Under review, we talked about how to correct spelling and grammar errors. And then we looked at all the different ways that we can create tables and then make them usable by adding rows, deleting rows, inserting columns, deleting columns, and then also just like, highlighting and making the text look a little bit better. Any questions about anything we did today?